I hate when men...
Jealous of the fiends, like why you always on.
I want things to be beautiful.
Every day we hear stories about men who are struggling. We hear about violence, addiction, depression, anxiety, suicide, and mental health crises. The news usually tells us what happened. Rarely ask what happened before all of this. How did the person get there? Was he always like this? Did something happen over many years that nobody noticed? Today I want to talk about loneliness epidemic, the male loneliness epidemic. This is not about blaming women on society. It is about understanding the problem that affects millions of people worldwide. A quick disclaimer. Before we continue, I want to make something clear. This is not a glorification of violence, abuse, or harm. Every person is responsible for their own actions. However, understanding why someone reached a crisis is not the same as saying the behavior was acceptable. We should be willing to understand the causes of loneliness and suffering to prevent tragedies. We focus on outcome, not the process. Modern society often focuses on one chapter, not the whole story. We see a man who becomes violent or develops an addiction. Our first reaction is, what did he do? But another question matters. What happened before all of this? Was he bullied as a child? Did he grow up believing he had to hide his every emotion? Most crises don't happen overnight. They are usually results of months of years of suffering. If we only pay attention when someone reaches a breaking point, we have already missed opportunities to help. How boys learn to hide their emotions. Many boys grow up message like don't cry, be strong, man up, and stop being so sensitive. This message creates a belief my emotions are a problem. So they learn to hide those feelings. Eventually hiding becomes a habit. Many men become very good at pretending everything is fine, even when it isn't. But emotions do not disappear. Emotions don't disappear simply because we ignore them. Sadness, fear, loneliness, and shame build over time. Sometimes they become anxiety, depression, addiction, or anger. Everyone experiences emotions. The difference is whether we have a way to deal with them. Learning to recognize and talk about them, ask for help, prevents years of unnecessary suffering. What I'm saying is not that men should act like a woman, process feelings like a woman. No. I think men should be strong, but strength also comes with emotions. The responsibility and dealing with emotions. If a man recognizes this emotion, say what's happening and move on. If men know what he feels, say what he feels, and deal with it and move on. Instead of not being able to say what he feels, just having this inside and eventually growing this anger because he doesn't know what to do, and he just the coping mechanism become an anger, the violence. And it also affects the women because most of domestic violence becomes from years of unnecessary hiding these emotions, and it becomes anger because male depression is something different from women depression. Female depression is more like they are sad, they prefer to hide in bed and never go out, and men depression is more like they are sad but they don't know how to process it, so they become anger. So sadness becomes an anger. That's the coping mechanism of most of the men and the men in depression. I would like to share something personal. My former partner was abusive towards me. What he did was wrong. There is one moment that I still remember. One day he admitted that he wasn't okay. He said that he needs help, and that statement stayed with me to this day. Because in that moment, I wasn't looking at someone pretending to be strong. I was looking at someone who is actually strong. And stop pretending that he's fine. I think this was the most manly thing he could do. Instead of just pushing me and saying I'm a bitch and everything, he said he needs a woman who would console him, and he would be stronger because of that. Because we need each other. We need each other. Male and female needs each other. Men also needs a console. And listen to me. I'm conservative as the next guy, okay? And As I said, I do not think that men should process the feelings like women does. But I think that what he did was stronger than just beating me up and having all those feelings inside. He went to me, he told me what was going on, he told me how I can help him during panic attacks, and he became stronger. He had less panic attacks, he wasn't abusive like at this moment. We broke up because I realized how wrong it was, but I'm happy that he processed this, and I hope right now he's in a good place and he deals with emotion better. Independence is not the same as connection. Today we often celebrate independence. Financial independence is wonderful. Independence and connection are two different things. You can have a career, own a beautiful home, and earn a high salary and still feel completely alone. Healthy relationships are based on partnerships, not dependence, control, or competition. Both men and women need encouragement, kindness, and someone who listens without judgment. Supporting each other doesn't make either person weak, it makes both people stronger. Because today women saying that they do not need men, that they can do everything alone, and in some points it is real, because now women can have work, can have own company, can have better salary than men, but still we forget something that is more important: the relationships. Even if I have the higher salary, I'm a trillionaire and I'm richer than Elon Musk, doesn't mean I am not lonely and that I don't need a man. We are social creatures, we need each other. And I know you're happy because you're independent and you can buy your own stuff. I know it's great. When I got my own first money, I was the happiest person in the world, that I don't have to ask my mom anymore for money. But that doesn't mean I wasn't alone at the time. Because I had my own money didn't mean... I was like, okay, I buy myself things I couldn't, because my mom couldn't afford it. But what next? Like, I do have my own plans, of course. I'm going to college. But there is something about sharing this life with someone. I have friends, of course, but it's not the same level as I could with partner. And I do need men, and I am not ashamed of it. Because I need a partnership. I need someone to build life with. And trust me, sharing life with someone is much better. It makes people happy. It makes me happy to share in my life with someone and not being alone and pretend, oh, I'm woman of success, so I don't need anyone else. And you know, this propaganda goes on and on and on. I remember Vogue. Like, the homosexuality promotion is crazy. I think UK Vogue said having a boyfriend is embarrassing, and I don't know what article was actually about, but no one reads the article, okay? I remember this, I was on TikTok then, and I remember women saying having a boyfriend is embarrassing, and they were showing with, you know, the glass of champagne, the money, and this whole apartment. No, you're lonely as fuck. I know money are fun, but you are lonely as fuck, okay? And why I'm saying this, and I don't want to insult women because it's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, think how men feels. Like, we don't need you anymore. We are independent. Try harder. And this is the next point I want to talk about, the change of gender roles. There is something that gender roles change, and I don't know if it's good. I don't want to get political on this, but I think men nowadays have struggles to satisfy a woman, because on the one hand they have this open the door, pull up chair, you know, carry her stuff, and in the other hand they have this, like, women are independent, they can do everything on their own. And so why she needs me? My story is, when I was like little tomboy, not long ago, no one was opening door for me. I was looking liberal, like my face was fucking liberal, okay? I looked shitty, don't trust me. But I wasn't look like a boy. I clearly had long hair and my face is feminine, so everyone knew I was a woman. But still, when I was carrying something, No man opened door for me, and men wasn't much interested. But when I start to look more feminine, like this, I look like a countryside housewife, which I'm really proud of. Men start to opening door for me, carry my things, and it was just nice. They showed respect to me as a man to woman, and it's really nice. They didn't want anything from me. I know there are some men that saying, "Oh, I will do carry her stuff, so maybe she will," you know. But that's not the case. That's not the case. So I think men are scared that they will get yelled at because the girl would like go like, "You think I can open my own doors? I can carry my own things? Are you stupid? I don't want you." I think that's really confusing for a man. It's not because men thinks you can open your own fucking door. It's because they want to show you respect. And you want this respect. But on the other hand, you want to be independent. But independence, it doesn't mean she can then show you the respect. That's messed up. Why this matters to everyone. Sometimes people ask, why should we care about loneliness? Especially men loneliness. The simple answer is loneliness affects more than one individual. It affects marriages, families, children, friendship, communities, and workplaces. Helping men isn't about ignoring women's struggles. It's not a competition. A healthier society benefits everyone. Prevention starts early. If we want change, we have to start long before adulthood. We should teach boys that emotions are normal, that asking for help isn't embarrassing, and that strength isn't the absence of fear. We also need examples of masculinity, men who are responsible, compassionate, strong, relatable, and emotionally honest. I'm not saying Harry Styles, all this feminine. That's not a masculine. That's not a male. I want to show my son and say, hey, look at them. They show their emotions, and that's fine, and they're feminine and all. No, I think the male role model should be one who is comfortable with his own emotions, can name them, process them, and move on for sake of his and his family and others. Not this. Don't get me wrong. Not this. I'm not trying to make men feminine, because many could think about it, because that right now is a feminization of men, but that's not what I'm saying completely. Please do not take my words like this. My final thoughts are, if we truly want to reduce addiction, suicide, violence, and mental health crises, we have to stop looking at the symptoms. We have to understand the roots. This isn't about blaming anyone, it's about preventing suffering before it reaches a breaking point. Because loneliness is not a weakness, and asking for help is not a weakness. It's one of the things a person can do.